Okay, welcome back to my class. So today we'll discuss a new chapter, that is human capital formation in India. And let us see, we'll try to discuss the meaning of physical capital and human capital. And we'll also try to make a distinction between the physical capital and human capital. Let us see this, our economic growth depends upon the efficient use of resources, and resources can be classified into two categories. One is the physical resources, another one is the human resources. Physical resource, you take the example of land, and land is the example of physical resource. And when we construct a building or plants and factory on the land, then that land becomes the physical capital. So we can say factory and building is the example of physical capital. Whereas let us see, if we provide a proper education, training, skill to our population, then our population will become the human capital. And human capital and the physical capitals are very, very important for our economic development. The economic development of a country depends upon the development of physical capital and human capital. Let us see, more physical capital is needed for the more human capital, and more human capital is needed for the development of the physical capital. So human capital and physical capitals are correlated to each other, we can say. So let us discuss the meaning of the physical capital and the meaning of human capital. Here I have written the meaning of physical capital. Physical capital, it includes all those resources which are required for further production, like plant and machinery, factory buildings, tools and equipments, vehicles, computers, etc. So all those resources which are required for further production, like plant and machinery, factory buildings, tools and equipments, vehicles, computer, etc. These all are known as physical capital. Physical capitals are the man-made resources, and they are needed for further production of goods and services. The production of goods and services depends upon the availability of the physical capital. So next one is human capital. So let us see, it refers to the stock of skills, ability, expertise, education and knowledge in a nation at a given point of time. So let us see, the stock of skill, the stock of ability, expertise, education and knowledge in a nation at a point of time, that is known as the human capital. So I told you, human capital and the physical capital are important for economic growth and development of a country. Let us see what are the differences between the physical capital and human capital. So physical capital, it is used to produce goods and services. So physical capitals are used to produce goods and services. I told you, let us see, these physical capitals are needed. Suppose you take the example of machinery, you take the example of tools, equipments, buildings, factory, plants. These are the goods which are needed to produce goods and services. So the production of all the goods and services depends upon the physical capital. Next one is human capital. Human capital is the stock of knowledge, a stock of skill, a stock of ability, a stock of talent, a stock of expertise. So these are needed to increase the efficiency to produce goods and services. So human capital, it increases the efficiency to produce goods and services. Then let us see the second distinction. Physical capital is sold in the market. So physical capital are sold into the market. You take the example of plants, machinery, factory, tools, equipment, vehicles, computers. So these are the goods which are sold into the market. Another one, it is not sold. Only the services of human capital are sold. Let us say human capitals are not sold. Doctors are not sold. Engineers are not sold. Professors are not sold. But their services are sold into the market. Let us see, scientists, the services of scientists are sold into the market. Professor, chartered accountant, the services of chartered accountants are sold into the market. The chartered accountants are not sold into the market. So this is the second distinction. The third one is, it is tangible in nature. It can be seen and touched. Let us see, physical capital. You take the example of machine, you take the example of computer, you take the example of tools, you take the example of vehicles, you take the example of equipments. So these are tangible. It can be seen and touched. Whereas let us see, human capital, it is intangible. That can only be experienced. Let us see, it can be experienced only. So the services of doctors, the services of chartered accountant, the services of cost management accountant, the services of lawyers, the services of professors can be experienced only. So the fourth distinction is that it is separable from its owner easily. Physical capital, let us see, physical capitals is separable from its owner easily. We can separate the let us see, this physical capital from its owner. Let us see if we can separate the owner of the building with the owner. So certainly let us see, so owner of the building is one entity and building is another entity, we can say. So here let us see, they both can be separated from each other, but here let us see, it is this human capital, it is inseparable from its owner, inseparable, which cannot be separated. Let us see that human capital cannot be separated. The doctor cannot be the services of doctor cannot be separated from the doctor. The services of professor cannot be separated from the professor. So they are inseparable. Next one, the last one we have written, it depreciates over time due to continuous use or due to change in the pattern of demand. So let us see, physical capital, the value of physical capital goes on declining over the use of the physical capital for a long period of time or due to change into the pattern of demand. If the pattern of demand changes, the value of the physical capital will decline, or let us see, the value of physical capital will go on falling due to the continuous use of that physical capital. But you take the example of human capital, there is no depreciation of human capital, but investment in human capital are required to maintain efficiency. You take the example of a doctor. So doctor, let us see, this when doctor becomes more and more experienced, then he becomes more efficient. But his efficiency can be maintained by making investment on a study, the latest knowledge, latest development in the field of health and medicine, etc. So here there is no depreciation of human capital. The human capital does not depreciate, but investment in human capital are required to maintain efficiency. So investment in human capital is required to maintain the efficiency of the human capital. If, let us say, investment will not be made on training, acquiring the new latest information and knowledge, then certainly let us see the efficiency of the human capital can go on falling. So that is why let us see, here we have seen, let us see, the meaning of physical capital, the meaning of human capital, and the comparison between the physical capital and human capital. I think the meaning and the distinction is clear to all of you. Okay, thank you.